All right, so hi. Welcome to this magic review, and let's talk about tricks. Sorry for the I don't know what that was. I hope I don't get like copyrighted for that, but yeah. So today is a rather interesting video, but I do think it is necessary. So this is a magic review. Obviously, this channel is not exclusively for magic tutorials, and hence why I'm presenting a magic trick. Well, a magic book in this instance. So yeah. So these two books are what I'm going to be talking about. So these two volumes are called Talk About Tricks, and they're basically a compilation, right? A compilation of 12 years of work, right? 12 years of work from Joshua J, right? If you don't know who Joshua J is, he's a very accomplished magician. He fooled Penn and Teller, and he also runs Vanishing Ink Magic. So he's a co-founder. So if you don't know what that is, it's like one of the biggest magic companies nowadays. And so yeah, this is his book, right? This is a compilation of a magic column that he wrote back in 2001 and all the way to 2013. And so it's 12 years of magic dedicated to basically different magicians, beginners, intermediates, and it was published in the Magic magazine, which is also like a very big magic magazine. So yeah, and you'll find like a lot of people's work there. So people that you recognize, so Jay Sankey, Daniel Garcia, As You Wind, Harapan, Joshua J himself, right? Just a whole bunch of list of names. And so yeah, let's get right into what you get inside of the box, right? So obviously you'll get these two books, right? These two massive books. I'll probably have some B-roll footage showing just how big they are in comparison to Paul Harris's his The Art of Astonishment, right? There's 3 volumes, right? There's 3 volumes of Paul Harris's work, but these two books completely dwarf them in terms of like size. Like it's just really insane, but it's 12 years of work, so I kind of understand. So we obviously get the 2 books, and they come in this bookcase, right? So this is a bookcase that just says 2001, and then there's this line that goes around off to the bottom, right? And there's nothing there, right? So here you'll see book 1 goes here, and then book 2 goes here, so you can see the giant size, right? So just for reference, this is my head, right? So this is massive, right? But yeah, that's about it, right? You only get the bookcase and then the 2 books, and that's it, right? Also, fun fact, they also came in like this cardboard box that says like Vanishing Ink and Talk About Tricks. So they have like a box dedicated to this, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, so obviously let's talk about the features of this purchase, I guess is what you call. So obviously the very first notable thing is the price. So $250, right? $250 is pretty expensive. I mean, it's just expensive in general, not like relative to whatever, but like it's just expensive, right? So but $250 becomes a lot more reasonable when you think about the amount of content in it. It's 12 years of work, so there's obviously like 12 years of work for $250, and not to mention there's about 868 tricks inside of those 2 volumes, right? So $250 for 868 tricks. That's about I would say 30 cents each. And that's really that's actually some pretty good value, because if you go to some sites like Vanishing Ink, Penguin Magic, right? Like just a normal standalone trick would be like $5, and then like from some more professional magicians, you get them for $10, right? So for tricks that are that were created by well-known names, right? Like Wind and whatnot. So for 30 cents each, that's a pretty good deal, right? So obviously that is the main selling point, right? It's just like a whole bunch of tricks for cheap. Well, cheap, because it's still 250 bucks, but that's still a notable feature. The next I would say is that, you know, these are well designed, right? So you have obviously the book itself, and then you have the dust sleeve, which I don't know if I can get it off. Pretty sticky, but yeah. So you have this transparent blue dust sleeve that actually changes the book's cover. That actually has like that changes like the book cover's color. So it was originally green, and then now it's this, right? So pretty cool. I mean, yeah. So the paper inside is glossy, well, slightly glossy, but yeah, it is glossy paper. And yeah, so and there's also the ribbon bookmark over here, so you can tell they put a lot of attention to detail into the making of these books. So already, like, you can see where some of the costs went, besides just like retyping everything and just the work that went into it. So that's another notable feature of the books. Also, the books themselves, this is just the first run, so this is a first edition book, but they'll keep on printing more, so you don't have to be like in a rush to buy them, because they'll keep making more. So, you know, just take your time, collect money, and then just consider buying them. But I'd highly recommend you buying them now, so then you can study all of them over and over and over again. So yeah, because it's gonna take a long time to look through all of those books, right? Yeah, another thing that I found pretty interesting about the book itself would be the index, right? So the index actually has just five rhombi. I don't know what to call it, but there's basically five shapes, right, to determine the skill level of each trick, right? So from a glance, you could tell, oh, I need to be like at least intermediate to perform this trick. Oh, I need to be advanced. Oh, this is really simple. So you can instantly tell from a glance that if you're skilled enough to learn it. So that's also a really good feature of the book. One last feature I would say from the book would be, the last notable feature would be the variety of tricks, right? So in most cases, if you buy just like one trick or like just a magic book, they'll tend to focus on one particular subject, like card magic or rubber band magic. But for this, you'll have like a large variety of stuff. So you'll have like straw tricks for some reason, cigarette tricks, and obviously most of it is card magic, because you know, most people do card magic. But yeah, so you'll have like this huge variety of tricks, and so you don't have to be limited to only learning card magic. So for people who want to learn more than just card magic, you'll get your money's worth over here. So that about covers all the features of the book. And also, one last thing, there's also a section called Expert Talk. So it's where expert magicians like David Williamson give their advice on certain things. In David Williamson's case, it would be the top change. So just that section alone is worth a lot, because you get advice from expert magicians themselves. So yeah, it is a notable feature that I think would draw people here. So overall, I'd say, you know, they're pretty much worth their price for $250 and 868 tricks, 12 years of work, and advice from expert magicians, and it's well constructed. So overall, pretty good value. But there are a few cons that I would like to address when it comes to talk about tricks. So some things I'll find nitpicky would be obviously the price point, $250. Yeah, I mean, it's expensive. Is it worth it? Yes, but obviously it's still expensive. So I think that'll drive a lot of beginner and intermediate magicians away just because of the price point alone. So yeah, it's probably not. So even though there's tricks catered to beginners in there, I don't really see a beginner like actively buying it because of the price point. They're like, I'm just starting Magic and I have this really cool book, but it's 250 bucks, so I'll tend to stay away, right? So even though there's tricks catered to beginners, I don't really see any beginners necessarily buying it. Some other nitpicky things would be there's a couple of structural things that are kind of off. So we look at the glossary, right? And I'll put some B-roll in here. But if you'll see, you'll tend to notice that in certain sections, the titles are kind of in a weird place. So so here you'll see airplane card, what is it? Coma the, and then process of elimination. But obviously we know it's airplane card, and then it's the next section, the process of elimination. So obviously there are some, obviously there were some problems retyping it, but it's nothing that bad, because it doesn't really affect the reading experience. There's nothing that really that's really missing from the trick, so it's just really nitpicky. But obviously, it's still something that they shouldn't have overlooked, right? So, but obviously 12 years of work, it's a lot of typing again, so I'll let it slide. It's just whatever, right? And obviously it doesn't affect any of the tricks unless someone did find like a section missing, then that'll be really concerning. But as of right now, from what I've read, there's nothing really missing, and it's all good. And obviously I think the last thing I can nitpick would be just that there's gaff cards missing, right? So in the original magazine that you got, so there were gaff and gimmicks included that would allow you to perform certain tricks that were described in the column. Here you don't get any of that, so you only get the 2 books themselves, so you only get the content. So on top of the 250 bucks, you might need to invest some money on buying more gaff cards, more gimmicks, or whatever. So unless you can DIY it, but yeah, so you'll have to have additional budget to buy those gaff cards. So that about covers everything about the book. So overall, I think that this is a very worthwhile purchase for anyone who's actually like genuinely interested in Magic. Maybe not for beginners, because obviously beginners, they don't want to invest that much money in a hobby they don't necessarily know if they'll stay in. So I think this book is catered more to intermediate to advanced magicians, and also people who have a larger budget. But I do think that these books are worthwhile. They'll last you for a long time because of the good construction, and I do think that you'll get a lot of mileage out of it, right? Obviously price point may be a turnoff, but you'll realize that it's actually worth, because one trick can last you a lifetime, and then you can obviously take them into your own thinking and then develop them even further, right? So $250, it's it's a lifetime of work, so yeah, it's worth. That's my general conclusion. But don't only take my word for it. You can go ahead and watch some other reviews. I'm not sure if there's other reviews, but you can go ahead and read the reviews in the Vanishing Ink purchase page. I'll just put a link to it below. So yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, also, there's actually a DVD version of Talk About Tricks, but the DVDs are, well, they're 40 bucks, and I think most of them are sold out. But even if you do have your hands on them, they don't cover everything in the books. So I still highly recommend you to get the books, right? The DVDs are fine, but nothing will ever beat the books. But I think that's generally it. yeah, hope to see you guys next video. Yeah. Next video I'll probably put a tutorial video. I'm not sure what it is yet, but you know, it'll be there. So yeah, see you guys. Bye.